iPhone 4S pre-orders and first-day sales are already a hit. We go hands-on Apple's new phone and tell you all about it. And Siri, aside from being revolutionary, also works on old hardware. All this and more coming up right now. Hello everybody, I'm Jaime Rivera and welcome to the PocketNow iReview, the show where we go through all this week's cool and the not so cool inside the world of Apple's iOS devices. Let's start this week off with what's cool. Apple's iPhone 4S pre-orders went live on schedule on October 7th, and to the surprise of many of us in the tech world, Apple broke another record for everyone. 1 million iPhones were sold on just the first day alone, and the new guys in town, Sprint, well, they couldn't be happier with record sales. Store sales also surprised on October 14th, as many of us thought they weren't going to be that crazy, but phone lines were there, and boy were we wrong. The good news is that it seems that Apple did make enough iPhones to satisfy the needs of everybody, so at least everybody went home happy with enough iPhones. That sadly doesn't include me because, well, the iPhone 4S unlocked version is not available online yet until November, but hey, apparently some people have already been to Apple stores and they've been able to get unlocked iPhones, carrier unlocked iPhones, on the Apple stores if they request for it, so don't take my word for it, go to a store and let's see if you can get one. iOS 5 was also released to the public and on schedule on October 12th. My personal surprise, even though I was rocking the latest old Goldmaster candidate in the beta program, was the fact that once I updated to the official version of iOS 5, my iPhone 4 was faster than it was in the past with the Goldmaster candidate. Makes you wonder if the iPhone 4S is really worth it for some people, being that the iPhone 4 is actually performing quite well with the current iOS 5 update. iCloud was also released for the Mac and just about everybody else, and yeah, we still have to wait for iTunes Match by the end of this month, so far releases are up to date and things are working quite well so far, at least for almost everybody. And you bet, our own Brandon Miniman has already begun his round of reviews for the iPhone 4S, and so far he's impressed with the camera quality, which is apparently superb. Siri was also surprisingly useful, even though the speed of the device wasn't that really mind-blowing on launching Siri, and just about everything if you compare it to the iPhone 4. Now, the data download speeds work really quite well on AT&T. We were able to test it on Washington State and also in Pennsylvania, and things seem to be working really well. Stay tuned for more review videos from Brandon, and later his also comparisons to the top-notch Android and Windows Phone offerings in the area. So let's see who wins. And with all the software releases, developers have already crowded our app stores with their updates to be able to support iOS 5. Apps like Facebook got a complete revamp and are actually even more useful and faster with the new iOS 5. Now, Find My Friends and Cards, the new Apple applications, are out there already, and Apple already released an airport utility application that allows you to control airport base stations like the Time Capsule with your iOS device. iTunes movie trailers are now also live, bringing new things to Apple iOS devices. Now, if Apple were ever able to consider us and allow us to use that airport utility application to be able to back up our iOS devices wirelessly for those of us that own a Time Capsule, now that would be hot. And what would an iOS 5 release be without our need to jailbreak it? I mean, Siri was also recently ported to the iPhone 4, so give them a couple of days to figure that out because it seems it's not really working that well and it actually makes your iPhone sluggish. But give them a couple of weeks. And well, you can also now be able to jailbreak your iOS 5 device through Redsnow with a recent update that the dev team provided. Now, sadly, it would not allow you to jailbreak your iPhone 4S or an iPad 2, and currently it only works tethered, so give these guys a couple of weeks. Remember, the iPhone 4S has just been released, and well, it took him a while to figure out how to jailbreak the iPad 2, so time will tell. That does it for the cool. Let's continue on with the not so cool. With so many iPhones being launched, so many people leaving happy from the stores, and so many people being impressed with Siri, you'd wonder what could go wrong. But, well, we all remember the late Steve Jobs mocking how the MobileMe launch was a disappointment because, well...
Now, you might ask, why should I believe them? They're the ones that brought me MobileMe. It wasn't our finest hour. Let me just say that. But we learned a lot.
We could say that Apple learned their lesson, but sadly it seems that iCloud is not that perfect so far. Apple servers were on their knees with the launch of the pre-orders for the iPhone. They were also on their knees when people were beginning to update their iOS 5 devices to iOS 5, obviously. Some people were not even able to finish the update and ended up with temporary bricks. And, well, other people are already complaining about the fact that, well, it seems that Apple's not really preparing themselves because iCloud is also failing at times. Not really sure what to expect from Apple. iTunes Match has not even been released. People are not even updating or uploading their songs to iTunes, and so far things don't seem to work. I mean, hopefully Apple will figure it out eventually, probably for the iPhone 6 though. Come on, Apple. The iPhone 5, a new version of iCloud, and figure it out. You've invested so much on the cloud and it's still not working. Anyways. That's it for today's show. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Jaime Rivera. Remember to give us a thumbs up if you like what you saw. That's it for now.